new. Let's give you that camera lights action effect, which is also...
You're joining in from a very good evening to you, and a million thanks for coming through on the show. My name is David Oku, but in the studio with me, I have for company Adebayo, the man who loves to hit the bar. A very good evening to you, Adebayo.
Good evening, Davidtalks. I'm actually taking a deep breath tonight. I think outside it's cold. The studio, it's also, very cold. But right here, I think in the presence of the flashing lights, we're seated to talk sport and nothing more but sports tonight. It's going to be fun.
Indeed, going to be fun there. Adese Michael is here with us. Very good evening to you, Adese.
Good evening, David. Good evening, Adebayo. Good evening, Umahia. What a day to talk sports on a wet evening in Umahia.
Well, the night to talk sports there, it's wet and wet and wet. But we start off from home here, Nigeria Professional Football League. We had results, Adebayo, exciting ones. But let's start from the Group B side of things. Let's start from Umahia. Abia Warriors up against Gombe United at the Umahia Township Stadium there. A game Abia Warriors failed to make their dominance count. Well, they lacked creativity in some spells of the game there, and it ended in a goalless draw. Landon Boso, who knows the terrain very well, knows Abia Warriors stealing a point from them and just keeping his boys very disciplined. In that torrential rainfall, Abia Warriors showed so much fight, showed so much energy and character, but they were lacking when it comes to creativity.
Anyways, I think it's time to chew. Looking at that particular game, I felt, I don't know, I think I felt out of place when, it started raining there, because it's going to be some sort of trouble looking at the pitch we have at hand. But what could we make out of this? We can't give excuses. It's a home game, and I think Abia Warrior needed to deliver. But at this point in time, the spoils have been actually shared by Gombe, and it was a strong fight they actually put up there, and I think quite a wise one they did down there, having to get a point from home here. And I think when it's their time back on their own pitch, they get to pray for better weather to come and actually build a fortress around their goalpost, looking forward to, destabilizing the Abia Warriors. And so that's just it.
But when Henry Makinwa was speaking after the match in his pre-match press conference, he had a different idea to that of the journalists as well as the fans there, because what was evident was that Abia Warriors struggled to break down a resolute Gombe United who were resilient in defense there. But he spoke otherwise. But before we hear from Henry Makinwa, let's take on Adese. What's your thought on Abia Warriors? I know you have your sentiments on the other side of the Abia-based team in Eyimba International. We'll get to that. But starting here from Omar here, it's not been a fine season for them so far. In the games they've played at home, a loss, a draw, and just a win.
Well, that they've been starting the league very, very slow, despite the fact that a lot of expectations have become from them. They got a new manager, and people felt, okay, this manager is going to come to give them good results. But unfortunately, they've not been able to hit the ground running. Then the rain yesterday did not also help matters. I think the government of the day should look into the pitch and see how they can salvage it, and so that games like that won't be hampered because of weather, because the rains are just going to get started in a couple of months. I think they should look in, because I think the rain affected some part of the game. You agree with me? I think the government of the day should come in and try to fix the pitch for them, so teams will come and have a free flow of football. Abia Warriors need to get their acts together, go back to the drawing board and know where they're getting it all wrong, even if it's to change tactics or maybe psych up the players. So I think they're also lacking the fighting spirit. Psych them up.
I'll have full details on that one. When we do, for sure, we would be the one to break it to you first here on Flow 94.9 FM. But a disappointing day in the office for Abia Warriors and head coach Henry Makinwa. Let's hear from the manager now.
Attitude and their energy levels. Yeah, we did a fantastic job. You know, at times football, you don't understand. We dominated the game from minute 1 to 90. We had about 6-7 chances. Okay, fine. The pitch was not in favor because it inhibits a free flow game. And the chances we had, we could not get them in the net because of the pitch, or I don't know. Waterlogged. You saw how we played. We played fantastically well. So
okay, so how can creativity be brought into the team, because they looked bereft of creativity despite dominating the game in spells?
It depends what you mean by creativity. Creativity, what I understand, is creating chances, playing from the midfield and getting the chances to score. And this we had in the first half. But we had bad luck, hard luck, I don't know, hard luck. Coach, it's incredible. 6, 7, 8 chances, you know, glaring chances, and you couldn't get one in the net. So that's it.
Clearly, but the fans didn't see any openings.
When you make chances and you do not convert them, what do you expect?
It's not about making chances and not converting them. They didn't create any meaningful chance to hurt the opposition.
No. I'm coming from his angle.
Okay.
You know, I'm not actually looking at the match as somebody who watched the match. I'm coming from his angle of the argument. He said, you know, they got about 6, 7, 8 chances, you know, but hard luck. They couldn't convert any and all that. That they got clear-cut chances. So when you make chances and that you could not convert, who is to be blamed? It's no longer a game of football. And I think they've talked right down from the road to World Cup. You know my stand, you know, when it comes to this. African teams, African player, 3 touches in front of the goalpost is supposed to get you the ball in the net. African teams, African strikers, when you cannot get a goal, or it is your duty to get a goal, a penalty, a free kick, a corner, or you have the ball in the net. 5 things out of it. Once you're given the ball as a striker, that is what you should aim at. So get something out of it. It's really affecting our league. And you know, having Makinwa come here tell us that he created 8 chances, he could not convert one. That makes him not to be a too good-looking coach. You know, so if I were Makinwa's manager, I think I'll whip him.
Will you whip him?
Yeah, I'll do that. For you to come along and tell me, boss, I created 7, 8 chances, I could not convert one. It means you didn't do your homework well.
Well, there's been a lot of discontent there from the supporters and to the people at the top with the style the team has deployed this season there. But Henry Makinwa has complained about not having time with these players. You know, he came in after the former coach, who was supposed to start the season, had overseen pre-season there with them in Adenrele Moses. But now let's hear from the Gombe United coach in London Bosu.
Ideas about the team, and I was always telling my boys that I have their password. And when I look at the lineup, follow the help, we are using about 4 attackers at a point. I have to change my at least seal that defense line. So I use about 3 central defense and with other people around, just for us to block their erosion ability. Thank God we planned for it and we almost got it because we worked for 3 points.
Well, having coached this club before, did you say your experience came to bear today?
The rain affected our pattern or what we have planned to play. But when I saw that rain come in, and I know that the teams from the north are not good in playing rainbow, so we just have to play the ugly way for us to get a point.
Well, you play next.
Well, everyone seems to be pointing the accusing fingers on the rains there, but it looks as if that rain benefited Abia Warriors because it reached the performance levels of the players. That kind of intensity was what was lacking in their previous games there. They stepped up, they fought for every ball there, they covered the grounds and ran more than their opponents. What was just lacking was just extra, you know, to carve out openings and meaningful chances for themselves there, which maybe the coach will be looking on to try and improve the team there. But let's look at the Group A side of things and pick out an Abia-based team in Eimba International. Well, at Daisy, Eimba not involved in Continental, so it means they've had more games than Rangers and Lobby Stars. But their standings in the table at the moment is, I think it's something, if you look at it, it's not a welcome development for them. They lost at Rangers 1-0, a disappointing goalless draw against Lobby Stars right there in Aba. And a couple of results that haven't gone their way. 3-2 loss at Kwara United in a high-scoring game there. You can only point to the game against MFM on the opening day as what Ayimba International put in a decent performance. It's not been great for them.
I think Coach Usman Abdallah, he's still experimenting with these players. He brought in a couple of names. If you look at the starting lineup on Sunday, he handed Stanley Okorom and Onowa. He starts. He hasn't done that in the previous game. That was the first time he did it. He also brought in Aneme Naifani. Usually he used to partner NS Governor with the other guy, but he's trying to rotate the squad now to see the particular formula that works for him. But the more he's doing this, the more they're dropping points. I hope he gets the right formula on time so that they can start amassing points, else they will be in trouble. It was a familiar terrain. Some ex-Ayimba players are in Enugu, Ifeanyi George and Ajani Ibrahim.
Who scored the goal? So
it was a familiar oriented derby. But we expected Ayimba to get something out of it. Unfortunately, they didn't get it right. And the goal, I think it came about 40th minute. They had a chance to come into the game. Their defense is okay. The midfield is okay. But I think they have a problem with the attack.
They are
attacking first. They don't have that verve. They don't have that edge to get the ball in the net. That is their problem. I think Abdullah should look into it and do something as soon as possible, else they'll just be lost in the Abridged League. And
a wonderful chance there falling to Ibrahim Mustafa there, but he failed to convert. Well, Adeze is speaking about the bluntness in the attack of the People's Elephant there. So could you point your fingers at Mfonudo, who is now with Aqua United? But Aqua United not doing so great. They fell to Nasarawa United today by 2-0.
Well, I won't point it to Mfonudo. Mfonudo has moved on, and anybody should move on too. It's up to the coach. Yeah, it's up to the coach to make do with what he has, psych up his strikers, psych them up, inspire them to go and get the goals. And they're not really the strikers are a bit laid back. They're a bit lackluster. They don't take the risk on the pitch. They don't say the likes of Ndidianomono. These were the guys that were ready to fight on the pitch. The strikers right now are lacking that verve. They're lacking that. They need to fight. They need to get balls and take the risk for the team. That is where the problem is. They need to look at the striking option.
And maybe possibly the rub of the green coming through too, because if you do not force your luck, it wouldn't come to you. We all know about that. But let's look at the results we had, starting from Group A. Wiki Tourist Neil Sunshine Stars won in one of the 2 away wins we had at the weekend there. Sunshine Stars, the winner waves, recording an away win away at Wiki. Niger Tornadoes nil, Bendel Insurance nil, in a game that saw the manager of Tornadoes there refusing to come out after halftime, citing his life being in danger there. And Rivers United edged out MFM FC 1-0 at the Yakubu Gowon Stadium in Port Harcourt. Lobby Stars were home and dry before halftime against Kwara United. It ended 3-0 in favor of the autumn champions. Rangers International 1, Ayimba 0, and Remo Stars of Shagamu 2, Katsina United 0. And over to Group B, Yobe Desert Stars pipped Heartland by 1-0 in Damaturu. So it means that Heartland were leapfrogged there at the top of the table, with FC Fanyuba now the team on top. Kada City nil, FC Fanyuba 1 in one of the away wins there. FC Fanyuba and Sunshine Stars recording away wins. Abia Warriors nil, Gombe United nil, Plateau United nil, Kano Pillars nil. A huge game there built, not living up to its billing there, ending in a disappointing goalless draw. Nasarawa United 2, Aqua United nil. That one just finishing this evening at the home of the Solid Miners, and Go Round FC of Omoku 1 right there in Port Harcourt, and El Kanami Warriors nil there. So Go Round FC continuing to make strides in this season's Nigeria Professional Football League. So how do they stand on the table right now? Let's take a quick dash to the NPFL table, starting from the Group B side of things. It is the Olukoya Boys, Mountain of Fire and Miracles Ministries Football Club who top at the moment. They are up there on 6 points from the Group B side of things there. Second on the log is Remo Stars of Shagamu on 5 points. Rivers United third on the log on 5 points, and Sunshine Stars completes the top 4 on 5 points. The bottom 3 sees Niger Tornadoes there in 10th position on 3 points. Wiki Tourists 11th position on 3 points, and Katsina United there, the Basement Boys, on 3 points. A mental picture of what Group B stays like. FC Fanyuba top with 11 points now after 5 games played. They've started the season to a flyer there, alongside Heartland, who were leapfrogged after their loss at Yobe Desert Stars. The Nazi Millionaires stay second on the log on 9 points. El Kanemi Warriors of Borno third on the log on 9 points, and Plateau United completes the top 4 despite their draw with Kanu Pillars at the weekend, and they have 6 points. The bottom 3, Kada City of Kaduna, 3 points. Nasarawa United, the solid miners, have now moved a wee bit up the table there and have a little bit about 6 points, so they are no longer second to bottom, I beg your pardon. So Kada City have dropped in there alongside Yobe Desert Stars. So it goes like this: Yobe Desert Stars on 3 points there, 10th on the log, 11th on the log, the Kada City on 3 points, and Aqua United on 2 points. Well, not a position the Promise Keepers fans would love to see them. Well, let's get to Adebayo's take on Aqua United, who have made a whole sale changes in terms of managerial changes, in terms of personnel. They've brought in a host of players. They've changed management right there, but it looks as if the omens are not good for them due to the way they started the season.
You know, they've talked when you get to other professional leagues in the world, I think you do not have Manchester totally overhauling their players, and this is laughing. You do not have Manchester totally. Never in history have I heard of such a thing. You know, it's only in our league that you overhaul an entire team, the player, the management staff. You know, even I think if time is not taken, the cleaners and every other person that works in that particular stadium should be. Come on, why wouldn't you get such a result? You know, it's actually playing out, and like Adeza rightly pointed out, you have to now start doing what in our local parlance we call tumbon. You know, that is what you have to start doing before you build the team to that level where you now know that by the time I pull out this particular player, roll in this particular player, this is the result I would get, or this is the result I'm expecting to get, and all that. So that is the challenge Aqua United is currently facing. That total overhaul of the entire coaching crew, the manager, and almost the entire team. You know, it's
going to take a while for them to gel.
The players, psychologically, physically, spiritually, every other thing, Ali, it's going to take time for you to gel. Definitely, right there on the pitch of play, outside the pitch of play, and all that. So it's going to definitely take time, and that is what is currently affecting Aqua United. We know the Promise Keepers, as at last season when the league went half, we always caught them around, or they were caught around, first 4.
Not only that, the freedom with which they played their game.
They are the only side we know they keep the ball on the ground and play.
But it's not so.
Plateau United does that. Plateau United is another side from the north that does that. They put the ball on the floor, knock you around. Yes. So that is the game of football. So it's really affecting them. The shambolic display, I'm not surprised.
So the change of Abdul Maikaba now to Raphael Everton, it's yet to bear fruits, rather. But talking about Raphael Everton insisting to just bring in a totally new faces, just like you've talked about there, and just leaving out the players who have taken the club to that level they currently are. You talked about them last season being very easy on the eye, passing the ball on the ground neatly, not being under the pressure they find themselves nowadays. But it hasn't happened for them. Mfonudo is there now. 2 goals he scored. Ndifreke 2 there now, but yet to really get things going. So what can really change for them?
Well, it's going to take time, because these are new players. They are still understanding themselves, the moves, they run, the tactics, the body language. It's not just going to happen like magic. It's going to take time for them to gel. Unfortunately, they will be dropping points within that time. But what they need to do is, if there's how, he just needs to keep rotating the squad until he finds the right squad to start his game with each time. Then the people that are not doing well can come as substitutes.
No matter how good we want to see that Raphael, no matter how good Raphael is, he's not a magician.
He's not. It's going to take time.
It's not. This is not magic. This is football.
We should also try to. We copy certain things from Europe. When we copy, let's copy right. No team does total overhauling. They bring in 2 players,
3 players, yeah.
They keep on building, and those ones will keep on gelling. I mean, it was comical to hear that a certain club in Nigeria bought about 15
players.
In fact, a team and some substitutes. It was comic, if you ask me. It was. Yeah, and they're paying for it now.
No, the point is, even I think the buy process, the buyout clauses, the selling process, procedures, contracts, contractual terms, clauses, and everything, you wouldn't see any. So, what do you expect?
Indeed. Well, we move on from the NPFL and now to the Nigerian Women's Premier League Super 4 tournament. We saw yesterday come to a climax there with Nasarawa Amazons ending a 12-year title drought there. As I beg your pardon, Bayelsa Queens beat Nasarawa Amazons 2-0 to end a 12-year title drought in that particular one. Well, Nasarawa Amazons came in as huge favorites to win the tournament there, hosted at home ground of MFM, the Agege Township Stadium. But they were shocked by Bayelsa Queens, who ran out 2-0 winners.
Yeah, I think Davidtalks was I run. If you if you trample over somebody 2-0, because when I would call it a run is probably when you had a 2-1, a 1-0, run over.
Well, it's football terminology.
No, I think we should put it that I think the Bayelsa Queens actually ran over these guys. These ladies actually, he's not like they ran away. They ran over Nasarawa Amazon. But Nasarawa Amazon, on a serious note, they are favorite, like you rightly pointed out. And on a very good day, if they put these 2 teams on paper, the game looks winnable for Nasarawa Amazon, on paper. But lo and behold, they got to the pitch, and Bayelsa Queens actually tore the papers and got through to the pitch and ran over them. Congratulations for actually ending that particular 12 years drought there.
Indeed.
We have to give kudos to the Bayelsa State Government and the Minister for Sports. They gave them all the support they needed, backed them financially, psychologically, and everything for them to achieve the feat they did yesterday.
Okay, when we come back, Alvaro Morata unveiled at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium their new striker for Atletico Madrid. That is next on the show as we look at other transfers, rumors and gossips currently making the round with less than 4 days to go before the end of the transfer window.
Join our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Flow949FM. And now, introducing our YouTube channel, Flow 949 FM. Watch us live as we bring you trending news, politics, and lots of entertainment content. All you have to do is go to YouTube, type Flow 949 FM, click on the subscribe button, share, and do not forget to click on the bell icon. Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state. Join our social media platforms on Facebook, Twitter, and Radio.
It's not just radio anymore. Flow 94.9 FM brings you something and new. Let's give you that camera lights action effect, which is also part of our complete outside broadcast services for all your event coverage, both recorded and live. Juicy offers await you as you do business with us. Let's go. So what do you have? Is it a wedding, cultural event, birthday, conference, seminar, or showbiz? Whatever it is, we are always ready and set to give you what you need. We also run visual advert for your company, products, and services. And we air not just on radio, but also on our online TV. For more information and booking, you can visit Flow 94.9 FM located at 7B Factory Road, Umuahia, or visit our marketing office at Bank of Industry Building, number 1 Constitution Crescent, Asa Road, Aba, Abia State. Or call our marketing team on 0703 160 8029 or 0805 174 5686. Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state.
Radio.
It's not just radio anymore. Flow 94.9 FM brings you something big and new. Let's give you that camera lights action effect, which is also part of our complete outside broadcast services for all your events.
Of Liverpool back then in 2005, all these players played exceptionally well in England and there were no complaints whatsoever. But in the case of Alvaro Morata, it just looks as if it didn't just happen for him.
See, for me, I think I was actually laughing when Adese said he went to change the jersey number 9 and he added 2 in front, and also when she said he couldn't make a complete pass, at least he passed his medicals. You know, he's passed his medicals to Atletico Madrid.
Adebayo gets serious.
But on a serious note, we've talked about this sometime, and I was of the opinion, or I am still of the opinion, that some players meet this, it gets to this stage or this point in time in their career, in their profession, where things are not just going right. I think for me, in the life of Morata, that is what is happening. That he needs to actually, sit back and begin to recalculate, repush, reform, reforge, reinforce. Do everything with an RE he needs to do to actually get his game on. That is what is going on. Then looking at the playing in Spain and playing in England thing, I think, if you're a professional, you should be able to acclimatize. You should be able to adapt as a professional. It is true that the pattern of football from this other Spanish side and the English pattern of football, it's not the same. The English pattern of football is rigid. It's result-oriented, and why the Spanish pattern of football is entertainment-oriented.
You can't say the English football is not entertaining, because the likes of Liverpool, the likes of Manchester City, the likes of Tottenham Hotspur, Arsenal, back in the years have given great entertainment. The model of the early 90s, 2000s, and 2010, the Manchester United under Sir Alex Ferguson, and what we are beginning to see now under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer have been extremely exciting teams to watch in the Premier League.
Okay, that's where you're coming from now. See the angle I am actually coming from. When you look at individual players, if you look at team entertainment of some sort, okay, the English Premier League, and that is why I am of the opinion that it is rigid. It's not like free flow, but it is in the Spanish league that you have a player pick on the ball, take the ball and do whatever he wants to do with the ball.
Well,
and still come out.
I disagree with you, Adebayo, because if you look at the Spanish league, in terms of that flair, it's there. But you can also get that in the English league. Aside from Barcelona and Real Madrid over the years, and Atletico Madrid coming in a little bit there.
Valencia.
Sevilla
too.
Yeah, well, one or two times. I can't really see other teams competing when it comes to skills, flair. You get that in English football too.
Let me come in. I think instead of using the word rigid, which Adebayo said, I think the English league is competitive. It's compact.
I said it's result-oriented and it's rigid. My stand about it.
The word is competitive, not rigid.
Result-oriented.
Result-oriented. All leagues are result-oriented.
No, they've talked. See what I mean by result-oriented. You see, when you get to when it comes to English league, okay, it's calculated. That is why I said it's result oriented. The English league it is an English league that I think you can have 10 passes give you the ball in the net
instead of a couple of passes or
continued. Instead of continuous, thank you. Instead of continuous possession, which you see on the Barca side, they keep holding the ball, they knock it around. They don't even care whether you're coming to score. They just know that if you can score 5, we'll score 10.
All right, it's Monday Night Football, the review show here in Flow 94.9 FM. Well, Adebayo still maintaining his stance there, comparing the English League and the Spanish La Liga Santander there. But it's time for you to have your say on the show. Let's get to hear from you with regards to Alvaro Morata moving to Atletico Madrid, this time not to Real Madrid but to the other side of the capital at the Wanda Metropolitano Stadium. 0808-182-6949 or 0811-605-2949 are the numbers to call here on Monday Night Football, the review show on Flow 94.9 FM. We have phone lines buzzing. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Flo.
Yes, the first caller for the night. What's your name?
Yeah, Ben from Oman.
Okay,
I think what Madam Adeze said is true and is complete about Alvaro Morata. I'm a Man United fan, I'm not a Chelsea fan, but what she said is complete. It's typical of average Spaniards. All of them. The truth is that there is a separation. When you move out from your climb or from your comfort zone, that's when we now know the difference between stars and superstars. Now, watch an average French Spaniard or French player, whenever they come to Premiership or EPL, watch them at the initial stage. Watch all of them. I knew when Torres came to Liverpool, they struggle.
Fernando Torres didn't struggle at Liverpool. I beg to differ. I beg to differ with you.
The first two, I said they have to struggle before some of them will acclimatize. Even my goalkeeper.
Well, I disagree with him.
Struggled at the initial stage. Just go back to the memory lane. Even if we don't, just go back to the memory lane.
I still disagree with you.
3 games. Some of them, first season, they will struggle. But with time, they find their form back. But some of them, you see that life will be maybe opposite of what it used to be. So they won't have any option and to go back.
Okay.
So that's just what I wanted to say. Thank you.
All right, thanks for coming through on the show. Well, I disagree with him a little bit there. Fernando Torres coming over to Liverpool there from Club Atletico de Madrid. If you can take a mental picture back, he appeared with this blonde hair, with a hairband on the head, just like Sergio Ramos uses. Then down below him, there was this bandage tied to his ankle, so he had this look about him, and he hit lots of goals for Liverpool. He didn't take time to bed in. He just eased in effortlessly and seamlessly and was the cup faithful. At just first instance, he made an impact. And he could recall some of his goals there. One was reminiscent of Marco van Basten. He scored against Blackburn Rovers in a 2-0 victory at Anfield on an afternoon. So there was no struggle. It was only when Torres switched to Chelsea on the January transfer window for £50 million, a then record in British football, that we began to see the struggles there. And it happened during Carlo Ancelotti's period. at Chelsea. Phone lines are still buzzing. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening. Wow. If you were the one, please do call us back. Hello, good evening.
You live in the sharp strikers in the house.
Yeah, good evening. Thanks for coming through.
Adebayo, of course.
He scores.
It's too much. I don't feel now. The Blues for life. I really concur with Adebayo. EPL, when it comes to, when it comes to EPL, it's a different ball game to compare with others, both to the and whatever, EPL doesn't want to know who you are or what you can do. It's all about challenge, fitness, do it in the field, not by name. So that's where you can see a lot of competition, and that's why EPL is one of the most interest when it comes to league, and people really enjoy it. Amorata has found himself that he can't even fit when it comes to EPL and especially KC. So, we are happy now. Our striker, is here now. That's why we can see we are going to, display what we know how to do. Whereby Hazard is going to play his normal role. Everybody is going to play his normal ball game. You see that KC is going to bring, their best.
Okay.
And also, I believe that our next match, our striker is going to give us a wonderful, fantastic goal there.
Okay.
Catch you when next to catch you guys.
All right, thanks for coming through on the show. Let's give opportunity to others because phone lines are still buzzing. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, Dave.
Yes, good evening to you. What's your name?
Yeah, good evening, Adebayo.
Yeah, good evening, Alvan.
Good evening, Alvan.
It's Alvan. I'm looking you from Bend.
Go ahead and flow.
Yeah, I enjoyed your analysis and update on the Nigerian Professional Football League. It's quite obvious that Abia Warriors and the Enyimba, they are not really doing well, at the moment. Of course, it goes to show the pattern of, the administration, a situation where you continue to hire and strike coaches, I don't think it's fair. We want to see maybe a coach stays up to 5-6 years in a particular team. I think it will have more, effect than this hiring and fire. Of course, having a serious impact, even after United having 2 points, after how many matches, I don't think it's a good result. Of course, remember, this is an abridged league, so it's not a normal league. So the team has to be very careful. Otherwise, you go on relegation. So we pray that the other Warriors and the Enyimba will, get their house in order and continue to get the good result.
Okay.
Of course, it was a very difficult weekend for Arsenal and the Tottenham, having both teams having booted out of the FA. Of course, that of Tottenham, they were eliminated in the League Cup and the next match in the FA. So I don't like what owner is really doing at this moment. He knows that he has a problem. Why not try to give up your team? And he's not doing anything to transform it. I don't think it's a good sign because what Arsenal has now to Chelsea, the top four, because the league, about the possibility of them, doing anything. Of course, the Europa League, some of the teams remaining are serious contenders. Let's see how it goes. Have a nice evening ahead.
And you too. Well, as you just dropped, Unai Emery is responding to you as he says there is a possibility the club could sign 2 new players before Thursday's deadline. Barcelona midfielder Denis Suarez and Inter Milan winger Ivan Perisic have been linked with a move to Emirates, with the latter having handed in a transfer request. Emery's preference is for loan deals, but he says he would be content if no new players were brought in. Well, the coach faces a huge trouble in their back line, and it's something he is sweating on now with fitness of players Laurent Koscielny, who took a whack to the jaw from Romelu Lukaku in the FA Cup 4th round on Friday, as well as Socrates Papastatopoulos there, who turned on his ankle there. Not forgetting Hector Bellerin, who is out for 9 months. Not a happy times at the Gunners, is it?
No, not a good time. We expected Unai Emery to, instead of looking at attacking players in Perisic and Denis Suarez, he should have gone for a defender, or we could bring in a couple of defenders that will help him. Because if you look at the games, when they face the big teams, the stronger side, they take advantage of their sloppy defense and win games. Their midfield is okay. Of course, they have one of the little attacks in England in Aubameyang and Lacazette. I don't think it's a good one for him to try to go for offensive players. He should try to make amends at the back line, else he may just miss out on the top 4.
Well, Adebayo may want to contribute on this, but just hold your thoughts there quickly to the phone lines. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Vivian, just
Yes, please, can you speak up a little bit?
Yeah, my name is Uncle B. I'm calling from Oduma.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to wish Nyumba and Adia Warriors. I know that they will pick up. Just let them try. I know it's not easy.
Okay.
Football is not an easy game, but they will try one day. Especially my darling team Nyumba, they will pick up to make us proud.
Okay.
And I want to ask you, you men on the radio, is there any move by Man U? Have they signed any player?
Involving which team?
Man U.
Manchester United. Okay, just leave your dial steady here on Flow 94.9. We'll bring to you details if we get. Well, let's take a look at what Manchester United are currently up to in the transfer window with less than 4 days to go.
Yeah.
Well, the boss did speak today, and that's Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, caretaker boss. He's won 8 out of 8 games. That's incredible, and with some sort of panache, you would have to say there. But he has admitted that Andres Pereira, who was on loan at Valencia last season, wouldn't be going out on loan this time around. Well, he's had chances, very few to come there, talking about Pereira there, but he's been a shining light for the team here, and Manchester United rate him that high there, but just trying to keep away the starting 11 out and looking for space to ease in Pereira has been an issue. And with Manchester United in this sort of form here, I think it will be difficult for him to get game time.
I think he should let him stay where he is, because this team he has now, they're trying to gel under the manager. The shackles has been removed off them. Yes, they now play and they're free to make mistakes without getting criticized by a certain manager. They have the winning ball. I don't see Pereira coming back, because there may not be space for him. Pogba is there, Herrera is there, Matic. They have Lingard, good midfielders to play. I don't think there's a need for Pereira to come back unless he wants to make do with the bench.
Well, he's there already. Let me come back to you. He is there already, but last season returned during the summer. He did play in the FA Cup round, the third round against Reading, then a 2-0 success at Old Trafford, but the manager is saying he doesn't expect him to leave on loan or permanently in the January transfer window with less than 4 days to go, as well as Mato Damian and any other Manchester United players. So it means United wouldn't be doing business in terms of bringing in players, and they wouldn't be selling players. But Adebayo still had something in mouth about the Gunners. If you were Unai Emery, what do you do at this point in time? We saw them go on a run of about 22 games, unbeaten there, but it all came to an end there. And series of defeats, we've seen them lose to United down in the FA Cup. They're out of it, losing heavily at Anfield, losing at West Ham, a Declan Rice effort. How can Arsenal get back?
Anyway, Dave Talk, I think I wanted to pick it from when Adese actually said that they will be needed. It's likely, or they are supposed to go for more defenders than strikers. But I wouldn't know what's currently playing right inside the head of Emery at this particular point in time. But the last match they had against Manchester United, when I looked at that particular lineup, having the middle, there's a way the middle was placed and a bit open, and
United could carve out easily.
Yeah, the
picking their passes at ease.
Yes, the Pearson, United pierced Arsenal and dragged out the spear and pierced again, and it's
so it
killing.
means they had no shield.
Yeah, they had no shield. All the same, and
so what has happened to Lucas Torreira, a man who has shown like a 1 in a million star? Is he running water?
At that point in time, or when it gets to stronger games, I cannot just explain, what is going on, how they are actually pierced like this. The point is not even that they've got no shield. The point is that at the same time they have no shield, they've got no sword. Neither did they have a spear to, pierce back. So I think,
but there's the things they have.
They, like she said, they have the letter. But against stronger teams with stronger defense lineup.
If you look at the Liverpool game, that they were whitewashed. The attack did a good job. The problem was that Jurgen Klopp knew that the problem was at the back. That is why he started about 4 attackers on the game. Even Shaqiri made when I saw Arsenal are in for a war. That is the reason why he started Shaqiri, Firmino, Sane and Salah. He knew the problem was the defense. That is why he started the four-man attack. Exactly. So I don't think they are having issues with the attack. They have the sword. Lacazette on a very good day will destroy opponents. Aubameyang, Aubameyang is that player that is not really consistent. I'm not going to talk too much about him. He misses a lot of chances and score few. We're not talking about Aubameyang.
But when we say an attack is good, on a very good day, that the problem wasn't, from the attack. And you look at that particular game, they couldn't come out of it. Dave, I don't know if you remember this particular match Arsenal was up against Everton, and I was like, I think that was last season. And I was like, they are going to go all for scoring spree, and I think that was what happened. Within the first 10-15 minutes, it was scoring spree, and at the end of the day, in our local parlance, it's now who score pass now and win. That kind of thing. So that was how that game ended. So if the attack is actually very good, like we judge them to be, they're supposed to be on such scoring spree, and that was why I made the mention that they lacked the sword and spear. When they lack sword and spear at the same time, when they meet a strong team.
Okay, we would look to see how it happens for Arsenal tomorrow, because Premier League action will be upon us. Can the Gunners respond after adversity in the FA Cup? They will be up against Neil Warnock's Cardiff City at Emirates Stadium at 20:45 before Manchester United take on Burnley in a Lancashire derby at Old Trafford there from 9 p.m. So games lined up for us in the Premier League tomorrow, including Fulham versus Brighton and Hove Albion from Craven Cottage there, as well as Wolverhampton Wanderers and West Ham United. So we would look at the fixtures tomorrow morning on Flow Sports at 7. Our window, West Ham still intent on activating 50 million euro clause on the player on Celta Vigo striker Maxi Gomez, according to sources. Then Barcelona in the race to sign AS Monaco midfielder Yuri Tielemans, along with Manchester United and AC Milan. We understand, and still staying with the transfers, rumors and gossip now, is that that's not confirmed already, but let's look to see what we have here. Spain boss Luis Enrique admits he does not know if he will select Isco, that's the Real Madrid playmaker, because of his lack of game time under Santiago Solari, a fine player there, but not being used consistently by Madrid, even with Cristiano Ronaldo departing there for Juventus. But just coming in is that the Estadio Benito Villamarin will be used as the final venue for the Copa del Rey this season on the 25th of May. So we would see the Copa del Rey final head straight to Andalusia at the Estadio Benito Villamarin. Time is not our friend here on the show, and that's how far I can go on Monday Night Football. Many thanks to Adebayo and Adeze for coming through on the show.
Thanks, man.
Thank you for having me.
So leave your dial steady here on Flow 94.9 FM, because top of the hour is State of the Nation with Michael Oni, the journalist of international repute, or the negotiator alongside Ginika Oloha.
Instagram at Flow 949 FM. And now, introducing our YouTube channel, Flow 949 FM. Flow 949 FM. Watch us live as we bring you trending news, politics, and lots of entertainment content. All you have to do is go to YouTube, type Flow 949 FM, click on the subscribe button, share, and do not forget to click on the bell icon. Flow 94.9 FM, the flow of God's own state.